Like, it was the worst pain that I've ever felt in my entire life. Like, hey, so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you all with a video, and this is on my labor and delivery story. Okay, I'm gonna be so honest in this video, like, it's not even funny. But to start, I went into labor on October 30th, 2015. And I had two beautiful, healthy boys named Noah and Nehemiah. And I picked those names off the Bible because they just stood out to me and I thought they were really cute to go together. And I'll get more into their names if you want me to in another video, but just to save time, this is going to be a long video. Yes, their name is Noah and Nehemiah. Noah was 5 pounds 10 ounces and Nehemiah was 5 pounds 1 ounce when he was born, and so he was really small. And I'm just happy that they're here. I'm happy to see them. My sleep is like they are nothing like DJ. Like, they're nothing like their brother, their older brother. DJ, he slept, he ate, he did whatever, he went to sleep. They're like But other than that, I'm really happy about them being here with me. But let me hop into the story. So on October 30th, I was preparing to get my hair and stuff done because I told you all in my wig tutorial video that I was wanting to get braids done in my hair for labor. You know, nobody really wants to deal with their hair when they're gonna have two babies, especially two babies, but one baby's enough for two. Come on now. So I was preparing to get my hair done, but the Lord had other plans. The Lord definitely had other plans for me. And so I'm sitting here washing and deep conditioning my hair and everything, and I started experiencing Braxton his contractions. It was probably like around 5 in the morning. I really battled with insomnia during my pregnancy, so I was up like the whole time to like 5 in the morning. And then about 5:30 I actually went to bed. My appointment to get my hair done was at 9 o'clock, you guys, and I still had to wake up to blow dry my hair. So I went to sleep about 5:30, and these Braxton Hicks contractions, they were like, you know, normal, a little bit more painful, but they were the normal. So I wake up at like 7:30. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta still blow dry my hair. I gotta be down here at 9 o'clock. I live further out in Maryland, and my appointment was like in DC, so I was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm getting up to go and blow dry my hair, and the reason why I woke up was because I felt like this really sharp pain in my stomach. So I was like, oh my goodness. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, please do not start this morning while I'm about to go get my hair done. And sure enough, yes, it was starting. My labor was, I was in active labor. And so I basically just called the girl and I was just like, hey, I think I'm going into labor, so I won't be able to make it. And so that was that. Then like the contractions started coming like really fast from the time I woke up into that little bit of time. And so I was telling my husband, I was like, we gotta go, grab the bag, grab my bags. And I still think I'm gonna make a hospital bag, even though I wasn't able to make it before I went to the hospital. I still think it's important for me to do a hospital bag video so I can show you all the important things that I brought with me. But yeah, I was telling my husband, I was like, bring the bag. And so I'm trying to get out the door. I'm trying to, like, my hair was still wet, so I'm trying to like wash the conditioner stuff out my hair. Like, I was just like total mess, you guys, while I'm going through these contractions. And so we finally get out the door. I'm barely making it down the stairs, you guys. I'm cringing onto my husband like, I hate you. He's forgiven me for all the crap I said to him, of course. But it was a struggle trying to get to the car. And so I'm in the car now. He's like zooming through traffic trying to get me to the hospital. And with every toss and turn and speed bump, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, imagine going over a speed bump while at the same time going through a contraction. It is like, phew. So we get to the hospital finally. And I'm like out of it. Like, I'm just pissed off. I'm ready for them to admit me in the room and push these babies out because I'm in so much pain at this point. So I get there, and at the front desk, the lady is like, oh, can I have your ID and your insurance card? I'm like, dude, I've been up here like every freaking 2 weeks, and no one has asked me for my ID and my thing because, you know, they put your information in the system. And so I guess she was a new person, so I was just so irritated. She's like, oh, can you sign this and do this and blah blah. So my husband was just like, dude, don't you understand my wife is in labor? Like, she can sign these papers and all that crap, you know, once she's in the room at least. So we finally get that over with. They roll me into my room. The nurse is like, oh, we're just gonna get you to go ahead and change out your clothes, da 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 da. And so while I changed out my clothes, I put that little ugly hospital gown on, and she's hooking me up to the monitor, and she's like, oh my gosh, I think you're really no, she's hooking me up to the monitor, and so she's touching me like my side and stuff, and I'm like, every time my contraction comes, she can see it on the monitor, so I'm like, argh! Like every time, and I'm just like, when can I get some medicine? Like, I'm in so much pain. And so she was just like, I really think you're into active labor. She's like, I'm going to need a doctor to come here and check you right away because I don't think that this is just regular Braxton Hicks. I'm like, duh, you crazy people. Well, that's what I called you to tell you anyway. So the in-house doctor comes in to check me, and I wanted epidural. Like, I am not going to sit here and have no twin birth with no natural delivery. I've thought about it, you guys, because I think natural is a good way to go. But with these twins, no, I knew no. If I had to, of course, I would, but preferably no. I do not want to be in freaking pain. So the doctor comes up, and this is my doctor. My doctor is you know, on the way up, and so the in-house doctor, she goes to check my cervix, and that's like so freaking horrible because you already are having a lot of pressure from the freaking contractions, and then they're putting their hand all the way up there, like they're searching. Like when they check you for your cervix, they're like they're searching for like a pot of gold. Like they're like, matey, and like they're putting their hand all the way up your stuff, and it's like, for the love of, you know what, like, can you please find another way to check my cervix besides you simply pushing your whole freaking finger like Freddy Krueger up my stuff, you know? So anyway, I'm serious mad again, you guys, I'm sorry. But then it's like, so I'm like, okay. She checked my cervix, and both my sisters had epidurals, and then their last birth they had natural birth, and that's because they got to the hospital too late, like me. And once you go past like 6-7 centimeters dilated, they do not want to give you epidural because it's like the baby's ready to come. She checked my cervix, you guys. I wasn't thinking I was I thought maybe I was like at a 5, maybe 4 or 5, because with DJ I dilated so slow. Like I was dilating so slow, it wasn't even funny. But when I got there, you guys, I was 9 centimeters dilated. Like, let that sit in. I was 9 centimeters dilated. 10, I think they need you to be at least 10 or 15 centimeters dilated in order for you to push. So I was not far away from being 15 centimeters dilated. So I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, so she said, oh yeah, you're 9 centimeters dilated. You're ready to push. I said, no. I was like, no. You have to give me my epidural. Like, you have to give me my epidural. So I'm saying my mind, and the doctor's looking at me. She's like, why are you screaming no? And my husband's looking at me the same way. And I'm like, because you guys aren't going to give me an epidural, and I'm going to have to push these babies all natural, and I'm just going to do it. And so she's like, no. We're going to get you the epidural. We're going to rush the anesthesiologist up here. They're going to run through their procedure and tell you everything, and we're going to get you this anesthesia done. So I'm just like, praise the Lord. So the anesthesiologist comes up there finally. They gave me my shot and everything like that. So I'm like kind of more relaxed. I'm like, okay, I can still feel the pressure because no matter, unless you go to sleep, like you're still gonna feel pressure. So it was still pressure, but it wasn't to the point where I'm like, you know. So once they give me my shot and everything like that, my doctor finally gets there, and she's like the grim reaper in my, well, let me not say that, you guys, but in my opinion, when she came up there to tell me, she's like, well, throughout my pregnancy, one baby was always like head down, and the other one was transverse. That means the baby was laying right across my stomach. So she was like, there is a possibility that you're still gonna need a C-section. But my previous appointment before, which was just a day before I went into labor, the doctor said that both babies were head down. So I told her, I said, well, can you at least check the monitor before you come in here talking about, oh, I might have to get a C-section, because I did not want to get a C-section. Like, that was just like no, no, no to me. So she checks, she basically, they prepped me for the emergency room, because, I mean, the operating room, because just in case you do get an emergency C-section, they need to be able to prep you and have everything ready there. So they're wheeling me in there. And the doctor who checked my cervix earlier and told me I was 9 centimeters dilated, she did look to see the one was head down. She said that's all that matters. We can go ahead and get you a regular birth, natural birth through the vaginal canal. So I said, okay, cool. So we get in there, and of course my doctor, she's like, well, let me check again. So she sees one baby head is down, and she sees the other baby is transverse still. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I guess he turned back around from yesterday. So I'm just sitting in there, and so she's like, okay. So she ruptures the sac for the first baby, which is Noah. And so he came out beautiful, crying and everything. They told me to push, push, push. I pushed like 4 times. 4 to 5 times I pushed, and Noah was right out. Like, it was like, phew. So I was just like, okay, because with DJ, I was pushing forever, but that was my first child, so I guess that's expected. But yeah, with Noah, he came out within like 4 or 5 pushes. So then this is where the horror story begins. So after that, what my doctor assistant told me at the time was that what happens once the second baby comes out is they want to hurry and get the baby out. So what they do is they'll go into, the uterus or whatever, and they take the baby out. And because the uterus is going to contract back. Basically, after you have one baby, our body is programmed to say we have one baby. They're not programmed to say we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 babies in here. So once one baby comes out, the cervix is ready to contract, to clamp back. So in my situation, what her assistant explained to me was that once the first baby came out, they was immediately going to go in and try to take the second baby out. Now, every hospital, every doctor is different. Some doctors wait and wait and wait for their second baby to come out, which to me, it can be a risk, but it also can be a smart thing. And then, you have some doctors just want to be active and go in. And so I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. And so I'm like, okay, should I push? Should I do this and that? And so the doctor who checked me earlier, who was in the room, she said, go ahead and push. And then my doctor said, wait a minute, don't push yet. And so she just said on the monitor, she saw that the baby heart rate was starting to slow down, and also that I was losing blood. And so the doctor who checked me earlier, she started turning the baby's Nehemiah. This is Nehemiah that's in my stomach now. So she's turning his head down to get him from being transverse. So as she's turning his head, and she finally got the head down, my doctor's still like, don't push. And the doctor's like, push. So I'm like, okay, who do I listen to? And so, she's trying to basically pull the baby out at this point. Instead of me actually pushing, she's trying to pull the baby out at this point. And she said that my cervix clamped down back to like 4 centimeters. And I'm like, how in the world did that happen? I don't even believe that, but hey, that's what she said. But basically she's like, okay, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to do emergency C-section. You guys, when she said that, I just wanted to like choke slam her. Like, no, like, you're not giving me no freaking C-section, dude. Like, no, I've already pushed out one baby vaginally. Why in that world would you sit here and talk about some emergency C-section? I mean, so I'm sitting here, I'm pissed. I'm looking over at my husband, and he's like looking so sad for me, like, no, I don't want my wife getting cut, blah blah. And so I'm just like, you know what, God, let your will be done. If this is how this is gonna go, Lord, I trust you. I know that you know what's going on. So I let go of my frustrations for the moment, because I do want Nehemiah to come out safely, and I want him to be healthy. I don't want to be selfish for my own desires and something bad happens to my baby. So she goes ahead, she preps the table, she cleans me and everything like that for the C-section. And so she's like have urgency in her voice. She's like, get this, telling the nurses and everything to do that. And so she goes to start the procedure with the scalpel, I'm assuming, and because they put a blue sheet up around you so you can't see exactly what they're doing. and it's like I feel the scalpel going across my skin, you guys. Like I'm in a freaking horror story and someone's like stabbing my gut. So I'm like, ah, like, you know, I'm like, stop, like, dude. So she was just like, oh no, you're not supposed to feel that. I'm like, duh. So then she tells the anesthesiologist, she's like, give her some more anesthesia, blah blah. And so they give me more. I feel like this cold stream thing streaming down my back. And then she goes to try to cut again. I'm like, no, like, you know, because I can still feel it. So she just was like, oh no, we cannot do this like this, you know, we're gonna have to put you to sleep. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, it's just like knockout after knockout after knockout with this doctor, like, seriously. So finally the other anesthesiologist comes up and he puts this medicine thing inside of the cord and whatever. And this stuff, I'm trying to tell you guys, like, I've been burned by iron, I've been burned by oven, I've been burned on the stovetop. But this burn that I felt from this sleeping medicine compared nothing. Like, it is the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, you guys. Like, it burned. I was like, I was literally screaming in there. Like, it was so bad. Like, the nurse and stuff was just like, oh my gosh, like, it was just terrifying. So, after that, I told the doctor, I was like, this stuff stings. Like, you all need to find another way. Like, I'm just sitting here fussing and complaining and fussing them out. And then by that point, I guess I just went to sleep. And so, wake up. And as I wake up, my husband is like standing right beside me. And I am being basically whisked away out of the operating room into my normal room now. So I'm just like, you know, what's going on? What happened? Where's my babies? And so they told me that, you know, they were washing them and cleaning them in the nursery and things like that, getting them prepared. And so I'm just like so emotionally wrecked because I'm just like, you know, I really did not want to get the C-section. And how it went, it was like a nightmare. And so, you know, I'm just trying to focus. I get back in my room. They put these little clamp things on my legs, and it was like to stretch my legs and to get fluids and stuff moving throughout my legs, because when you get a C-section done or any kind of major surgery, they were saying that your leg can experience blood clots and things like that. And so I was just like, oh my gosh. So they had that on my legs for about, I don't know if it was like for the rest of the day or if it was a little bit, guys. I don't even know, because every like four to 6 hours they were coming in there with pain medicine telling me to take this, take this, take this, take this. So I don't even know how long that stuff was on my leg. But yeah, that happened. And so yes, I had a vaginal and a C-section. A vaginal birth and an emergency C-section. And I'm telling you guys, it is not fun. The next day they make you get out the bed to walk, and it felt like me getting up out that bed, like all my guts were gonna fall onto the floor. Like, I was just not up to par with that at all. And the babies are woken up. Give me 1 second. So yes, that was the babies waking up. So I'm trying to wrap this up because with them it is way complicated trying to get these videos up and everything, you guys. But I'm gonna try my best, even if I have to keep pausing and stopping the video. But yes, that was my horror delivery story. And even once I got home, you guys, I had complications and things like that with the C-section. So I'm going to I'm going to get into that in a later video about having a C-section and things like that. But this was strictly for my labor and delivery story. This is something I will never forget. I am overall thankful because, again, I do have 2 healthy baby boys, and it could have went really wrong because of how everything happened. And so, you know, I've been trying to be upset with my doctor and the hospital and things like that, but you know, things happen. And again, I'm just glad that God was there with me and that he basically watched over all 3 of us to get us safely and get us back home safely and things like that. So I am thankful, and I'm glad for the prayers and the support and everything from people, from my social media to here and other things like that. My family, just thank you all for your support and your kind words and things like that. And so again, I will be putting out a video in a few weeks once I'm fully healed about how my C-section recovery and week by week and things like that. So if you're interested, definitely stay tuned for that vlog. But yes, that is my story. So any C-section mamas, if you come across this video, let me know how did your C-section go, and was it planned, was it emergency, how did you take it, things like that. Your birthing story with twins, whether it was natural. You know, leave all that down there in the comment section below, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.
Beautiful life inside, living, moving, breathing, so let hope arise. God knew what he was doing when he gave beautiful, beautiful life.
Dear sister, I hear the place you at. I know it ain't nothing easy about going through that. There's a baby in your womb, but you wasn't trying to do that. You take it out back if you knew that, but you ain't have a clue.